You know, skeptics might say, look, Reagan Outdoor Advertising doesn't just give money to politicians because it wants to be nice. I mean, they're expecting something for it. What do you say to that?
Personally, I would not ever indicate or believe that a contribution to a campaign would or should sway my vote.
Is it unrealistic to expect that other school districts without the same resources are going to be able to pull this off?
Sid Dixon, in her response to the audit, said, perhaps the next step is for us to go to the districts and say, you know, can we do this?
She says she met with you not once, but twice.
Yeah, this legislation was drafted without the input of the LGBTQ community.
What's wrong with kids who've had sexual reassignment surgery and are now girls playing on a girls' team?
You know, I think we forget sometimes that biology in sports matters.
Do you commit to doing something on bail reform if this repeal is passed and signed by the governor?
I am committed on bail reform. This is just a one step.
There will be some who will say, you're rushing to open the state. Are you rushing to open the state? Are you being premature at all in this target?
No, I'm not, because I mean, the recommendation from the health department was 1.6 million.
Does it need to be in law? Can we not just get there and assume that things will get back to normal? Do you have to put it in the books?
It doesn't have to be in law, but nobody's put it on the table yet.
Does this feel like a Democratic proposal coming from a Republican senator?
You know, I don't know if it comes across as a Democratic proposal as much as it comes across as a let's try and find a way to get something done kind of proposal.
Are you qualified for this job?
There is some accusation of not being qualified for the pandemic. Let me just address that.
How long do you think it will be before the masks start coming off? Best guess.
I can't wait for the day. I would think that the soonest we would see that is late summer.
Do you feel that you and the board caved to pressure from the state in deciding to go back to in-person learning?
I really think that the big factor for me was the vaccinations. Certainly there was some pressure from the state. I mean, I think everyone would understand that. But at the same time, there started to be conversations about vaccinations being available for teachers.
But in saying that the vaccinations were key, I mean, there are teachers that haven't received any vaccines that will be in the building next week. I mean, why not wait until they could get both shots or at least one shot?
Well, I mean, we did have some conversations with some folks at the legislature, and you know, there was some pressure to get back.
How can the U guarantee that sort of that continues when some of those key players are out of the picture?
It's a great question.
He says of the losses.
One of the things we're really confident, though, that both Marlin and President Watkins set up, though, is the ability to sustain what they've been doing.
Sometimes we don't have that smoking gun until we do a little bit more investigation, and the process is not set up to find that. To that you would say what?
Well, I think the process is set up to find that if they can meet the regional threshold.
The fact that 2 complaints have been further investigated, what does that say about the commission?
Well, the commission is doing its job.
Do you see much relief in the next decade or two on affordable housing?
No, not unless there's some drastic changes with really all levels of government.
Now that many residents of nursing homes are vaccinated, will we see visitor restrictions loosened? And what about for hospitals too?
Yeah, so that's something we work with our partners on those policies, and it's something we're evaluating to see when it will be safe.
So I've gotten a flu vaccine at Smith's, others have as well. How will the process compare for the COVID vaccine?
Very similar. So you'll make an appointment, and I guess that's the main difference is you may not have made an appointment to get your flu shot because we just take walk-ins.
With so much demand and maybe just 100 doses per store, is your website set up to handle the rush of people who are going to be looking for an appointment?
Yes, it is.